Шановні колеги, ми продовжуємо.
Esteemed colleagues, we are going to continue our work. The floor is given to the speaker of the ATO topics, Speaker of Minister of Defense, Mr. Lysenko. I'm going to share some information regarding the last 24 hours in that area. In the Lugansk segment, yesterday was more or less quiet. The enemy have not used or did not use the heavy weaponry. After lunch, the adversary actually started to shoot from the small arms in Lobachevsk and closer to the night. The combatants or the militants started to shoot at Stanitsa Luganska and the suburbs using grenade launchers and the small arms. Up to the midnight, there were 3 enemy's armed provocations. All in all, there were 6 bombardments in the Lugansk segment, the Donetsk segment. Avdiivka and the suburbs of the city remain to be really the hot spot of the most intensive bombardment on the part of the enemy. Here we had almost 12-year bombardment on the part of the enemy. They used mine launchers of different calibers, tanks, and small arms. All in all, over the last 24 hours, the enemies shot or launched 135 mines of different calibers and 50 tank projectiles. Yesterday, as a result of the powerful tank bombardment, the capital structures and the metal work in the Shakhta Butovka, mine Butovka, were ruined. Especially they actually strengthened the regular bombardment starting from the end of January. Almost every day they shot near the neighboring village of Spartak. The Ukrainian troops actually captured the position of the mine Butovka during the very animated fights for the Donetsk airport at the beginning of 2015. Also, yesterday the enemy was active in the region of the Svetlodarsk Bulge, in the Golovka perimeter, and near the Donetsk airport. Almost more than 100 different mines were launched by the enemies. They shot at the Svetlodarsk Bulge. And also they used the tank. All in all, they registered 37 enemies bombardment, 17 of which using heavy weaponry. In Mariupol segment, during the whole night, the enemy shot using the small arms near the seacoast area. Starting from 7 a.m., they started the mine bombardment in the Novotroitsk, Shermanik, Pavlopik, Nutovo, Vodene. In Telekovka and Vodene, there were snipers were working. And also, they used at 9 p.m. they started actively to shoot at the positions near Shirokina using the artillery of T-122 caliber and tanks. Also, all in all, they registered 41 bombardment, 11 of which using the heavy weaponry. None of the Ukrainian soldiers were killed. One of them was wounded during the bombardment of Lobachevo. The military servicemen of the National Guard Service of Ukraine had training on the exercise, shooting, studying, and actually taking the exercise using the maneuvers of the enemy. The training for the students of the military academy in Odessa continue or go on. The would-be officers learn how to drive different armored vehicles, BTR-80, BMP-2, etc. In the tank range is equipped with a special variant. They use the special launchers on the route.
Recruits practicing turns and U-turns of different difficulties, and also get the skills of driving the vehicles in the settlements. At the checkpoints of Khmelnytska, PPP, there were exercises of dog handlers. The purpose is to check the skills of the dogs in finding and searching for explosives. The total assessment of the unit is excellent. The police had the training on the territory of the Court of Appeal of Lugansk region in Severodonetsk. The topic of the training was counteracting the mass strikes. Yesterday, the President of Ukraine and the Minister of Defense of Ukraine visited the wounded servicemen who are treated in Dniprovsk hospital named after Mechnikov. The head of the state awarded the soldiers and the sergeants who were participating in difficult battles for Avdiivka industrial zone. Also, the Minister of Defense awarded the collective of 385th Military Hospital of the southern region with the awards. The first this year 2 weeks course of civilian military cooperation finished in the National University of Defense of Ukraine named after Chernihovsky. 40 officers received diplomas that allowed them to more efficiently work in the ATO area. The servicemen were learning the methodology of establishing communications with the local authorities and civilians. The servicemen of the National Guards of Ukraine helped the kindergarten in the village Mirna Dolina of Popasnyansky district of Lugansk region. The National Guard servicemen put to order the territory of the kindergarten and prepared the timber for heating the premises. Today in the morning, the Russian side sent the 61st so-called humanitarian convoy to the temporarily occupied territory of Ukraine. 25 trucks crossed the Ukrainian border this way, violating the norms of international and national legislation. Any questions? Once there are no questions, this is the end. Thank you.
Шановні колеги,
The next event will take place at 2 o'clock.